All right. Now, oh, all right. Oh, my computer's acting whack. So.
Graceland, I really liked your picture.
You guys are doing a great job with your math pictures and your writing pictures and your sentences. Even
Rock
when
stars.
Part of right now is having your adult or grown-up help you write the sentence. We would be doing that at school. All right, are we ready? And it's recording, so we're good. It is Thursday. So today we don't have writing. We would have already been online. So Mrs. J is gonna cook us something special, I think. But we do have a read aloud, and I am going to read you one of my fun stories that I like to read. My nephew who slept over the other night, he's only 3 and he loves this book. He says anti-book monsters all the time. So we are going to read about monsters. All right, and why will that? All right, there we go. All right, friends. Mrs. J, can you see it? Hello?
Yes. Sorry, I
Okay.
muted myself, so I didn't.
Sorry, like,
You didn't have any background
where did
noise.
you go?
So I thought, what if I start laughing? I should be muted.
How I Met My Monster. And on here, I'm telling you guys that if you ever get this book or you go to a store and you feel the cover of it, it's all raised. It's all funky. It's really cool. So, you ready? One night, I reached under my bed for my truck. I found this note and said, from the office of Mr. Z, monsters meet here for final test. Z. Ha, my parents were obviously trying to trick me into staying into my bed. I don't believe in monsters. So I crumpled up the paper, grabbed my truck, and zipped over to my garbage. I heard some crackling and rumbling, but I wasn't scared. Our house always made noises at night. But then a voice under the bed scolded, "Stop that stomach rumbling. The child will hear you." Voices? Stomach rumbling? If this was part of my parents' trick, it was pretty cool. I peered into the inky blackness. 5 pairs of eyes blinked back. See how he knows we're here? The voice inside. One of you has broken monster rule number 1. Maintain the element of surprise. This is no trick, I thought. There are monsters under my bed. A long-necked yellow monster slid out, followed by 4 little monsters. Rule number 2, the yellow one instructed, never block the bed. All of you, scoot over. Hey, I realized, that one must be their teacher. I sat up straight, memorized by the monster parade, scuffling across my bedroom. That's better, the teacher monster said. Across to the bed is clear. Now, who knows rule number 3? The purple monster teetered on his tiptoe and gurgled, "Get the child into bed." That's correct, Genghis. And how would you do that? Well, Mr. Z, I would roar my scariest roar. All right, give it a go. Genghis took a deep breath, opened his mouth, and let out a tiny blurp. Stomach rumbling would have a better chance of getting me into my bed than that funny little noise, I laughed. The child is right, said Mr. Z, shaking his head. That was not sufficiently scary, Genghis. I'm sorry, you're not the best monster for this child. There was some crackling, and Genghis slunk beneath the bed. Before I could investigate where Genghis had gone, Mr. Z asked, now who wants to try to get the child out into the bed? The orange monster looked at the ceiling, and the red monster looked at the floor. Only the green one looked at me. First, he stared at my toes, and then started to drool. Then he took a step toward me, and I heard that rumbling noise again. Uh-oh. I think he might be interested in the little boy's toes. I sprang into my bed so he couldn't get my feet. Mr. Z blinked. Very unconventional, Gabe. Your stomach gurgles seem to be what that child needs. What I needed was to make sure this little Gabe monster didn't eat my toes. Right. You three. The child is now in bed, said Mr. Z. As every monster knows, the ultimate object is rule number 4. Who can tell me what that is? The orange monster bounced and squealed. Keep the child in bed until it falls asleep. Correct, Morgan. And how would you accomplish that? Shadow puppets, she squeaked again. Gabe whistled through his nose and I snickered. But Mr. Z said, interesting idea. Try it. Morgan hopped onto the night table and flailed her arms near the lamp. Silly shadows bobbled onto the wall, and a cloud of fluffy fur tickled my nose. Achoo! Morgan stopped at once, Mr. Z ordered. You're supposed to scare him, not make him sneeze. I'm sorry, but you're not a match either. Morgan's arms flopped to her sides and she scuttered under the bed. There was some more creakling, and Morgan was gone. After all the sneezing, I really needed a tissue. Suddenly, a huge shadow of uncut claws loomed across my room. Awesome, I thought, and kind of scary. I froze in place. Powerful performance, Gabe, said Mr. Z. But do either of you see a problem? Oh, I know, chirped the red monster. The child is out of bed again. Correct, Abigail, Mr. Z continued. And one of you must get him back in. Let's revisit rule number 1. Maintain the element of surprise. All at once, poof, the monsters vanished. Then I heard more rumbling. Were they hiding in my closet, making noises to scare me? No, it was only my stomach grumbling. All this excitement was making me hungry. I tiptoed past the closet and peeked out the door. So far, so good. No monsters. Then I stepped over the squeaky stair and sneaked down to the kitchen. As I reached into the pantry, I heard something chattering behind me. I sure hope it wasn't that toe-loving Gabe. I yanked open the fridge. It wasn't Gabe. It was just the red monster shivering on the shelf. You found you, I laughed. Nice try, Abigail, Mr. Z, but this isn't working. You're not the right monster for the child. But Mr. Z, she whined, it's not my fault he's not scared of me. I'm sorry, Abigail, let's go. Abigail clumped behind Mr. Z. When I heard the creakling, I knew she was gone. I grabbed some crackers and headed upstairs, wondering if Gabe was gone too. I munched all the way down the hall, then went into the bathroom to brush my teeth again. When I opened the door a minute later, Gabe was definitely not gone. He was right there, and he was huge. I charged into my room and I slammed the door. When I leaped into bed, I knew my toes were safe. Phew! I was surprised to hear breathing under my bed, ragged breathing and stomach rumbling. Hey, kid, Gabe growled. Good to see ya. I pulled my covers up tight. Now, if you don't mind, I'd like to start the evening with an ominous puddle of drool. I peeked over the edge of the bed. Green ooze spread soundlessly from underneath. You? Then the bed quivered as Gabe unfurled his spiky tail. Well, this looks quite promising, said Mr. Z. When I heard some more crinkling, I knew Mr. Z was gone. I was alone with Gabe. Gabe loomed over my bed and began sharpening his uncut claws on my bedpost. How'd you get so big? I gasped. Rule number 5, my friend, he explained. People food makes monsters grow. So thanks for the crackers. Got any toes I can munch? I scrunched up my feet so Gabe couldn't get them. This was way better than playing with trucks. No toes tonight, but you can't have this, I offered, tossing a stuffed monster off my bed. Gabe dove for it. His soft, comforting snores filled the room as he snuffed the toy. I shivered. Kid, I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship. No other monster can scare me like you, I giggled. You want that monster under your bed? He wouldn't make me giggle. Gabe was the monster for me. His snorts and oohs were perfect. I yawned, then shivered again. I was asleep in no time. The end. I hope you liked my story. All right.
That was a very good story. Everybody was really engaged.
That makes me happy. All right. I'm going to go back to our closing circle. Click, click, click. That's all we do is click. You guys are doing good with all the transitions. We would be doing a lot of transitions in classroom, but not with the computer. So we did our read aloud. Let's review our calendar. Let's see. Oh, sorry, friends. There we go. So today you guys said that it was what day of the week? Nose goes. Anybody?
Dakari.
Oh, Dakari. Unmute yourself, honey.
What was it?
Do you remember what today was? Yesterday was Wednesday, so today is
Thursday.
good job. And do you remember what tomorrow will be?
Friday.
Good job. And I am doing a pattern on here. Mrs. J has the pattern in the classroom with all the fun monsters. But in here, if we look, oh, I forgot to change the number day over here. What's our pattern, Dakari? Black, orange, green. Black, orange, green. What comes next? Say it with me. Black, orange, green. Black, orange, green. Black, orange, green. Good. So don't look at this date because I forgot to change it. But today is Thursday, October 15th. The year is 2020. And we said that today's weather is cold and cloudy and windy. It looks like now the sun came out though. So, all right, we did our book. And we didn't change that slide. So we're gonna go back. All right, Mrs. J, did you have a picture to share for today or no? Oh, she's on mute again.
No, we did the caring and not caring today.
That's right. All right, boys and girls, you rocked it, and closing circle is over. Tomorrow, we're going to have a little bit different schedule where you're going to be on the computer with Mrs. J and I a little bit longer throughout the day. So hopefully that'll be fun for you, and it will be helpful for your adults. So we're also going to talk about some rules that you need to be doing while we're in lessons. Like Liam, you need to be seated and watching us, okay, buddy? When we do movement time, that's a great time for you guys to be dancing and moving and jumping. But when we're trying to listen, remember, what are our rules? We need to have our spectacles, and your ears need to be open, and your body needs to be calm and quiet, right? So we'll talk about that tomorrow in morning meeting. But until then, how about we say goodbye to all of you? All right. And we did bonjour today, but does bonjour mean goodbye in French also? Well, how about we do bonjour in the morning and adios in the afternoon for right now?
And I can look that up tonight. I don't know.
I don't know French, Mrs. J. I know Spanish, not French. So, all right, boys and girls, when I call you, please say adios. Graceland, you're unmuted, so we'll say adios to you first.
Adios,
Graceland. Adios, hasta mañana. Adios, Alex, hasta mañana.
Bye, sweetie.
Adios, Miles, hasta
Adios.
mañana.
Adios.
Adios, Carlos, hasta mañana.
Adios.
Adios, Liam. Adios, Shannon. Adios, Mary. Adios, William.
Adios.